This is the Mohsin Mortgage Program with Sarah Mohsin. Mohsin Mortgage is licensed in several states for residential and commercial purchases and refinancing. Call 800-662-9550. And now, here's your host, Sarah Mohsin.
Great to be back here again, folks, and truly excited and happy to have Russ White here, who is a friend, and certainly really wonderful to have you back on air with me, Russ. How are you today?
Great. Great to be back. Good to see you, and just great to be here.
It is. It's because the thing about, we did your refinance a few years ago, and your family's wonderful, your wife Judy and everyone else, your daughter, and there's so much that's happened over the years because bottom line is, we've always said we're a family-owned business, so I am really grateful when you share what we do and our financing options, and you've talked to your daughter, your family about the different things that are available, and it's your birthday today, so I can at least wish you. What better way than to be on air on the Mohsin program?
That's right. Thank you.
So what has happened? What's been going on? How did the refinance work for you? And what?
The first one that we did worked out real well because, like I told you before, I had gone to a few other people, and they said that I just didn't qualify for it. And the first time that we talked I was in my vehicle going across the canal, and I stopped after listening to the program, made the phone call because it was just a phone call to you, got the information that was needed, and within a short period of time you called me and just let me know that I did qualify, and we just took it from there, and everything was great.
I remember still very clearly when you called and you said you're in the car. You've heard us a couple of times and just asked the question because literally people do get turned down just because of the fact that every bank has limitations on what they approve. It's not about you. And we work with 50 wholesale lenders, so our approval ratio is very high. And if not today, then we'll work with you to get you to that point to get you approved. But there are just some really, simple things that people may not realize that could turn them down. It could be that they have a 580 score, which is considered not acceptable for a local bank. However, for us, we go down to 580, in some cases 540 scores. And the big thing that a lot of people look at, just the local banks and retail banks, are the debt to income ratio. So they will actually look at the debt that you have, and if you're looking to refinance, even if you're looking to pay off that debt, they will add that to the calculations, which makes no sense to the borrower because you've already decided to pay that debt off. And so we don't add that. We act as if that has already been paid off. And I think that you are courageous enough to make the phone call and ask questions to just see what could be done. And it's a 30-day process, so I know that it worked in your favor because we've seen over the years dramatically the changes. You've had some great things happen, family members getting married and
that was
celebrate.
The second time that we, it was the second time I refinanced because I did need a little extra cash to get my daughter Rachel's wedding in place. So we talked about it, and actually you gave me a call back and said that I was still able to get a lower rate and actually get the financing that I needed to, for the wedding.
Right, and the number is 1-800-662-9550, and really it is all about asking questions and knowing that in order to qualify really does not reflect the fact that you have to have the best scores or that you'll be penalized on the rate because your scores aren't as high as 600 or 700. Everybody gets the same fixed rate, and everybody gets to get rid of the debt and just start over and do the things that you need to do. I think at the end of the day, you and I were talking off air, it's really the memories that matter. That's what's meaningful, right?
Yes, very much.
And it created some space for you to do the things that you would prefer doing versus just worrying about the bills.
Right.
So your daughter's looking to buy a home.
She is, and she asked me to talk to you about it, and I said more than happy to. That's why one of the other reasons I'm here today, I just wanted to talk to you about, getting her financing. So that's, and we'll talk about that. And then last week I was talking to my oldest daughter, Allison, and she is going to be looking to purchase a house probably within the next 8 months.
Mm-hmm.
And she also said, do you think you could talk to Sarah? I says, yes, I'm going up there today, so I'll mention it to her.
Well, these are the things that really, to me, make me happy to know that if it's going to make your family closer and create more memories just by doing a simple thing, by refinancing or purchasing a home, that's huge. It is, to me, one of the greatest things that any of our listeners can do for us by trusting us with their purchases or refinances. And your son-in-law is serving our country.
Yes, he is, Willie. Yep.
Yeah, so I'm very grateful for that because it's very courageous of him to do that. We live in the greatest country in the world, and we are in a place where we are safe because of him and everyone who's serving. And so purchasing a home, we do the VA plan, so it is 100% financing, which means that they don't need to bring money down, which is a huge benefit for our servicemen and women. And the rates are actually very good. They're in the threes. They're in the 3.5, 3.875 fixed rate 30-year terms. So I'm sure you're excited for them.
Yes, I am. And they have a 3-month-old, my granddaughter, with Scarlet Rose. So
I love that name.
They're excited to, get things moving and get into their own place, which would be great, and, start their own life.
The number here, 1-800-662-9550. You also got in on the fitness regimen with my coach, Sarah Werner, a few years ago. You look great, by the way.
Thank you.
But she did up a nutrition plan, and that, kind of started at least the process of the eating part of it, because that is like 80%.
It is, yes.
It's the toughest part. It's the toughest part, I know. But at least I think that health and wellness and finance, those are really important, because if you don't have your health, then it doesn't matter how much money you have in the bank.
That's right. Exactly.
So putting those two together, you're running and doing all kinds of things. It's summer.
Every morning, yes.
You're taking good advantage of this beautiful weather that we've had here in Boston. Did you find that there was a sense of ease, especially with the rates being low, and the second time when you did refinance, it was because of the wedding, but you still saw this huge benefit from being able to get a low interest rate?
Yes, and it still dropped my rate, which was even better. So it was kind of a no-brainer. It worked both ways.
Right.
So it was great.
I encourage everybody to just ask questions, because the interest rates are at 60-year lows. They're fixed rates. I recommend it highly. I think that anyone who's holding these equity lines or lines of credit, they're really very dangerous, because I was talking about this, Russ, with someone today, that in 2005 there were about 52% of homeowners who took out equity lines, which are the adjustable rates. People think that they're not mortgages, but they are. And out of that, they usually last for 10 years, and then the rate hike goes up. So there's an 87% delinquency on these lines of credit. And I encourage people to start asking questions about lines of credit and what they are. They are second mortgages. You're paying into just the interest. So when after 10 years, which is now 2015, 2016, that's where you have to start paying into the principal, and it's unmanageable for them. So I was looking at these statistics, and it's a pet peeve for me when I see people not being told what it really is. It's a second mortgage. It's not an equity line. It's not a line of credit. People think it's a credit card. It's not. It's a lien against your property. So the recommendation always is ask the question, find out what you're holding, what kind of rate you have, what kind of loan you have, and make sure you have the lowest payments. When we did your original loan many years ago, you had a pretty high rate, and you had a few things you wanted to pay off.
Yes.
Right.
Between credit cards, and the rate was way up there. So it was great, to have that brought down. Right.
And you just people that said no, you can't get
yes,
approved.
I did. I had actually 2 people I went to said no, I needed to fix a lot of things, and I wasn't qualified. And like I said, I made that phone call, which was the best thing I ever did, and it worked out great for me twice.
Yeah. So there was a Largely, probably they said the debt to income ratio or the credit score, one of the two, that would have caused them to say no. But they're so limited that it's, that it doesn't really mean very much until you ask the question with us so that we can do it. And we did it. We automatically were able to get you approved and move forward. Yep.
And I encourage people just to make the phone call. It's the easiest thing. Just the questions, ask the questions, and, Sarah will be able to take care of you.
Well, great to have you back, Russ White. Thank you so much. I'm so excited for your family and being that you have a grandchild and it's, buying homes, your daughters. So it's a very exciting period. And I welcome you back again.
Thank you.
Stay well, folks.
This has been the Mohsin Mortgage Program with Sarah Mohsin. Mohsin Mortgage is licensed in several states for residential and commercial purchases and refinancing. Call 800-662-9550.